Welcome back, everybody. This is Youngzers, episode 37, allegedly. Yeah, we're recording a little earlier in the day, so getting stuff done a little early. But Buccos are playing right now. We got some Pirates talk coming. Not too much from the Steelers. I think they just signed somebody, and then this is just pre-draft stuff where they're visiting whoever and watching whoever. So no big deal there. Maybe a tad bit of Penguins. They had a decent week, so they're capping it off tonight against the Flyers, and then like I said, a lot of Bucko talk and anything extra we mix in. So what's going on today, guys? What's the vibe like?
I'm a little confused. I need Dan to clarify right off the bat.
Yeah.
40 breakfast sandwiches. 40 breakfast sandwiches.
Yes.
We get a
What's
little
this?
depth about that.
It's for the month, so we bulk buy everything. We're gonna try and do this. We're gonna bulk buy stuff and then just make it. So for the boys, for the wife, and then for me, I don't care for the breakfast sandwich if I'm making it at home. So I like to do burritos. So we'll do that. I gotta whip that up after. But yeah, it was something like, let me do some math real quick. 1, 2, 3. That's 12, 24. Yeah, it was almost 40. So yeah, there's a lot. But
That's not bad.
for the youngin, we cut them in half. So those were I might exaggerate the number a little bit, but there's a lot. There's a lot.
Did you freeze them up, or you?
Yeah, we're
put 'em in the freezer?
Yep, threw them right in the freezer now. They got the egg, sausage, cheese on some of them. Then we got egg and bacon and cheese on some of them. Yeah, so we do it up.
So how did you do the egg situation? Did you make the eggs yourself, or is it somehow you bought like square eggs?
So went to Sam's Club yesterday and bought the 7.5 dozen of eggs for $25, and then the wife will go and scramble them up, and then she puts them in like a lasagna tray. So
that's what I was thinking.
It cooks them pretty thick.
Yeah. Then you just spatula them out.
Yep. You just cut them. You can cut them in little squares, and they fit right on a bagel. So that's what we were doing. So yeah, 40 of them.
I know this Dunkin' just opened up by me, but I might be swinging by your place for some breakfast.
Hey, we try to do it right. I mean, we divvied up 30 pounds of meat yesterday, so like 20 pounds of ground meat and 10 pounds of chicken yesterday. My old man gave us a food saver years ago. We use it when we go to Sam's, but we weren't going to Sam's very often. But now we're starting to buy everything in bulk just for like the month. It's just so much easier. And then you just take a Sunday and you just make everything, you divide everything, all that jazz.
If you play it right, you can get a full meal at Sam's Club too. If you like peruse the samples good enough. Did you like get any of that done?
No, I don't mess with the samples, people. My old man used to. I don't care to talk to anybody when I'm out. I don't know if I have real bad social anxiety, but like I want to get in and get out. Maybe in my younger days I would have, and you go back a couple times if you find, because my old man we would go and they'd always have those chicken cordon bleu,
Yeah, the little roll up. Yeah.
So he would get one.
The samples.
He's like, "Oh, that's pretty good," and he'd ask for another one, and she'd be like, "Well," he's like, "Let me try it. Maybe I'll buy it." And so he'd have another one, and then we'd go walk around, and then we'd come back. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not sold on it yet," and he'd get another one. So, but then first time in my life yesterday, we actually ate at their little cafe thing.
Ain't bad.
Cheap,
got big dogs.
Cheap. The wife and kids, well, and the older boy said that the pizza was phenomenal. I was like,
yeah, it's like pretty good from what I recall.
Two pieces for $2.50. Yeah, and then you get
big Ronies on there too.
Oh yeah, a large fountain drink for 89 cents. Where else you going in today's age and getting something like a hot dog for $1?
The Ballerina, maybe?
No, not anymore.
But when I don't go to Sam's Club now, we all know that I'm a big Dirty Bird guy. When I used to go, I didn't have any purchasing power because I was just like a kid. I haven't been there since. So I'd go with like my parents. And I knew all like the lingo, to get the samples like doubled up. Like I'd double them up. So you'd say like, oh, that's actually really good. Can I try another one? And you got to like judge, like you got KYP, know your personnel. So you see the ladies handing it out. If it's an old lady, they'll give like a young fat child like me however much I want. Like I can give and take. I'm taking liberties. But if it's like a sour old man, you're only getting one.
Yeah.
So they knew where to put them too. So they'd put like the high end stuff that have like old Bob up there that's in his like 60s, and he just pissed off, doesn't want to give me any samples. So, and they'd have like the old ladies on like the veggie medleys or whatever, and I'd be like, yeah, they're figuring out real quick.
So since you said no purchasing power when you were younger, that's whenever I went to Sam's Club all the time too with my parents. And going in there as an adult with responsibilities and making your own income, and you see all the stuff that you want to buy, like full-size candy bars, like by the box. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to stay on a budget, or on track, because you're like, do I need 3 pounds of Oreos? No, but did I buy it? Yes.
Yeah, do they still have those little boxes of the M&M cookies that are like this big? Those are pretty good. I remember those. I'd be like, yeah, sneak one of those in the cart or something maybe. But nothing like makes you feel buffer as a kid when the parents like, hey, can you get that case of water for me? Because then you like peacock up to it and you're like lifting it up, like making sure you're like acting like it's real heavy.
Yeah, got the Deer Park water. Yeah,
I was a case of water guy.
My old man, when we'd go when I was younger, he would get a flatbed cart and then a regular cart. Because then we'd get pop, we'd get water, we'd get a bunch of different drinks and stuff. And minimum 2 cases of water, but most of the time it was 4. I don't know what it was with him and bottled Deer Park water. He loved that shit.
If you see the pipes these days, you see those pictures online of the pipes, that'll scare you from tap water.
That's why you got to go get yourself some premium Turner's iced tea. They pull this water right out of the Monongahela, and I wouldn't care. I'm still drinking.
Shameless plug.
I say your dad's, you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, he hates when you talk about him on here. He's going to be sipping nice Deer Park water this week, tuning in. Son of a bitch.
You know what I'll do? I'll give him a pass into the haulers club, because anyone that brings a flatbed through Sam's Club, that's a hauler right there. if you're coming down the aisle with the 2x4 wide like flatbed thing, everyone's getting out of your damn way. There ain't anybody standing in your way of that thing.
You're the alpha of Sam's Club. You see a flatbed going down,
and a cart.
Yeah, and a cart.
Flatbed and the flatbed. It's a hydrated man. 4 cases of Deer Park. You steer clear of there. It's like an emergency vehicle coming down the roads. Everyone just goes off to the sides. You let them right through. Take care of business and just keep going. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always had.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay,
I was gonna say, I always had my head on a swivel in Sam's Club, because you never knew when that forklift was coming. You just hear the beeping, but the building's so big and it's echoing everywhere that you don't know where it's coming from. So if you make one wrong turn, you're getting a forklift like to the skull or something.
Yeah, and whenever I was young, I always got blessed that I had to push the beverage cart around, the beverage flatbed. He would push it till we got there, but once we got there, I had the privilege of pushing it. But yesterday, speaking about the forklifts and stuff beeping, they had the automated like Zamboni running around, and the next thing you know, it's just in the middle of an aisle, just stopped. I'm like, well, how am I getting around this thing? And it was over by like the snacks and stuff, so it was like jackknifed. Perfectly in between like a 4-way. There was an intersection there, and it was. I was like, I can't get through here, because them carts are extra big to begin with, just the carts. So, but no, it was an experience. Oh, excuse me, that I'm gonna have once a month now. I apologize.
What was for lunch, Dan? What was for lunch?
Lunch today? I didn't have any lunch today. Didn't eat lunch.
I was gonna say, it just came up a little bit.
That was my wife made some cosmic brownies, and that's what that was there. That's what you guys saw me eating there early.
The only other note I have on Sam's Club, I'd rank them high up in my bathrooms. Like bathroom rankings. They had good bathrooms to poop in. Yeah, they got the little sinks too.
Never dabbled in one.
I did.
Yeah.
That'd be my thing. Like, I was really interested. I wasn't interested in like the first aisles. If we're talking about the Mills Sam's Club, like up until after that, when you get to like the meats and stuff, that's where I'd get interested. Like, that's where it'd keep my attention.
Yeah.
But once you get to like the stupid like pills section and all that, like after, I'd be uninterested. I'd be like beeline to the bathroom.
You haven't been there in a while?
No. Probably not a couple of years.
First section now, like as soon as you walk in, is nothing but electronics.
That's what it was before.
But I mean,
that was cool.
Like it's huge. Like there's so much there now, and then they have like office supplies. They have desks there, office chairs. They have gaming chairs, like the one I'm sitting in. Not the same brand, but same style. They redid all that, and I mean, I never dabbled in the Sam's Club bathroom. When I was younger, like way younger, I would make it a point to go and see every bathroom, like if we went out to eat or like went to Kmart or something. But by the time we were going to Sam's Club, I was already like 14. So I was like overseeing, checking out the bathrooms.
Yeah, I'm still into that. Sam's Club is cool because they have the thing in front of it too. I remember like you'd see the employees of the month. I'd just like stand there and stare at them to see who's like doing good and who wasn't, just to like keep tabs on them.
We were walking out. Speaking of pictures of employees of the month, it's kind of a little different. We were walking out and Braden goes, "There's a lot of people missing because they have like the missing bulletin board out front, like when you're leaving." I was like, yeah, there's probably way more than that in the world too. He's like, well, that's a lot. I was like, yeah, those aren't even like from around here. They just, maybe somebody from a neighboring state, you might see them.
Some of those are like old too.
Oh
they have like that CGI thing.
Oh yeah. What they might look like now, they were younger then. Yeah.
So, I mean, continuing on with like shopping too. So today, Nicole and I went to Ross Park early this morning, like right as it opened. All right. And you know how like there's always the big conspiracy, like these mattress stores, you always see a ton of them. There's nobody ever in them. It's got to be money laundering.
Yeah.
I think I found exactly where it's happening. It's the mattress stores are like the decoys.
Okay.
Honey baked ham store.
I know they're in full swing right now.
They are.
It's Easter mode.
It is, yeah.
Right now though, but like year round, there can't be that big of a demand for a honey baked ham.
Thanksgiving, it's like 4 months out of the year. Thanksgiving, Christmas, maybe a nice New Year's ham.
No, that's still ham. You still have enough ham left over from Christmas for New Year's.
But do you think they're giving it to Isley's and then they're chipping and chopping it up?
No, it's like a bouge, honey baked ham store. Like that's literally what it's called, honey baked ham.
The Ross Park Mall?
No, like on McKnight Road, like one of those strip malls.
Yeah,
on the right side, you're going towards Ross Park. A honey baked, strictly honey baked ham.
I don't think I've ever seen it, and I frequent the Ross Park Mall all the time. Is it before or after the Exchange? You know where the Exchange is? The Exchange is pretty early. It's on your right.
Yeah, it's literally like I go through Millvale and I, get on to McKnight.
Yeah, that's how I go too.
Literally, like halfway between there and Ross Park, honey baked ham.
I'll have to keep an eye out. Maybe go in
up a little bit, right past the Red Lobster. Yeah,
right past the Red Lobster. Okay.
Yeah.
But what business?
Oh yeah, it's up in that plaza. I know what you're talking about. It's like
what business do you have as a honey baked ham store? Like that's got to be some shit going on there.
Well, if you think about it, how many ham stores are there? So I mean, they're the only ham place. That's where you're getting your hams from. Maybe they're giving them to other places, like Giant Eagle's buying some. They're supplying them.
Like a distributor of them. Like you're going in there to buy your ham. Like it's not like a Dirty Bird ham. It's like, all right, I'm going to the in-laws for the first time. I'm bringing a nice ham, some kind of bullshit like that. It's not like they're distributing it. It's like strictly you're going in there to buy a honey baked ham.
like this is where you're getting it from. Yeah. So you mentioned that, and it brings me back to I'm sitting at lunch every day at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and we watch the news just to get the weather and stuff and any breaking news and stuff. And there's been commercials now that it's Easter time about some. I don't think it's that place, but it's for your holiday hams. I was like, and it's like all been around since like 1905 or something like that, some early ass date. I'm like, I've never heard of this place ever. I've never seen it advertised. Maybe they're just struck gold and had a good Christmas, and now they can get pay for some ad roll. I don't know. Hey, let us know, and we'll plug you here. You can kick us back some money.
Yeah,
but I don't know. No, I refuse.
No,
hams are overrated. I think they're overrated. They get too much like credit.
You a big turkey guy then?
Yeah, I'm a bird guy. I like birds. I'm a big bird eater. But I just don't think. I think hams are way overrated. They're good, but they're not. Like everyone's like, yeah, I'm bringing the ham. Like, you want a cookie or something? You want a title for it? Buddy, you're bringing the ham? Okay, go ahead.
Let me cook you a holiday ham, and you'll fall in love.
Is it smoked?
No.
I like a little smoky flavor.
No, I
to
cook.
it.
If I let the Dr. Pepper flow a little bit too heavy and it gets to the bottom of my stove, and then you get that smoky burnt Dr. Pepper flavor. Yeah, I did that this Christmas. That was.
I like the leftover on a sandwich with a little cold. Yeah.
Are you going to the honey baked ham store to pick like you peacocking on in like this is the holiday ham I'm getting, or
Where do you tap on the glass?
No. I go get my Sugardale ham from the Walmart, and I honey bake it myself. Okay, I got my own little pizzazz I put on there, my own little concoction I throw in the pot or in the pan. I do it up right.
I don't know. See, I think Dan's. This is why he knows. He frequents the area. He's one of the people that waltzes in.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. He's the honey baked. You're the kind of person. You're the kind of person that keeps the honey baked ham and the Long John Silvers in business.
I don't want to hear the Long
Johns. Yeah, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
I have it once a year, but honey baked ham, no, never been in there. You ain't pinning
there ain't
that
a better
on me.
piece of baked fish in there or fried. Best fried fish.
Oh, yeah. I won't hear
Their fish is good.
I won't hear the Long John Silver slander up in here. I won't stand for it.
Maybe, but no.
Listen, back in the day, Long John Silver's fish, some vinegar on it. The Hush Puppies, elite combo. It does get a little too much slander though.
I missed the one in like the old Kmart parking lot. That was a good one.
I tell this story, multiple times a year because we talk about Long John Silvers because like guys at work will say it's underrated, and I say, yeah. I was coming home from work one day and told a guy we was carpooling with a guy, and I said, hey, stop at Long John's and I'll buy us a meal. He didn't want anything. I bought a 12-piece family meal, ate it all before I even got back to my house. Minus the Hush Puppies. I gave him the Hush Puppies. Those are just dough grenades, bro. But,
you know what the best part of that place is? Like eating in and then the bell on the way out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what happened. You'd serve me shit on a shingle and I'm ringing that bell. Like I'm out there. Every time I'm in Arby's, I go through I'm like ringing the bell. Yeah.
That is true. Like, I could get shot inside of Long John Silver's. I'd be ringing that bell on the way out. I mean,
I'd be crawling out, reaching for the bell.
What do you guys' go-to sides when you go to Long John's?
I haven't been there in a while. So I like the Hush Puppies, but maybe the fries.
Well, Hush Puppies come with it, but I'm talking corn, coleslaw. What the hell? There's a couple other things. I always go coleslaw. I get double coleslaw.
I'm a big coleslaw guy.
Is fries one?
Fries is one, yeah.
Well, that's what I'd do. I remember I'd get the fries. The fries, Hush Puppy. I'd probably get coleslaw too, but I'd love the vinegar because I'd put vinegar on the whole thing. So fries, and then like the fish would be like soaked. The fish would be swimming in vinegar still. It'd be like on its second life, like underwater.
It's coming back to life with all that salt in it.
Trying to dodge my hands. It's like I'm like swimming around. But it's good stuff.
I feel like coleslaw gets a lot of slander too. Just like Long John's is in itself. I mean, like when I go to KFC, I gotta have my taters with the gravy, but I gotta have that coleslaw. There's something about it just being cold, and just the vinegar base to that too. With the dressing on it and stuff, and the cabbage. Oh, it's just so good.
Are you a vinegar or a creamy guy?
Either one. I'll take either one. Honestly,
I like both.
Just coleslaw in itself. Either way, just the cabbage and the carrots. It's good. It's crunchy. It's refreshing almost. Yeah.
But here's what I do. So whenever we get pierogies, we get like coleslaw with it, like the creamy kind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever had like them at the same time.
No.
But I put the coleslaw on top of the pierogies, and it's like good. Yeah. It's like a little sweet with like the pierogi.
I know a lot of people do like sour cream on their pierogies, so that kind of I'm not saying the same, but I could see where that would slap.
Good.
Yeah,
I liked it. It just like mixed. I'm not like a big food toucher guy. That like
I am.
But one day it like mixed over a little bit, and I was like, it was a pretty good combo.
You are a food toucher guy. What do you?
Like my regular, not my regular ones, but like on the weekends when I eat something different, I don't want stuff touching.
You mix your shit all the time. Don't give me that. You're not a food toucher guy.
That's like the best bite at like a cookout.
He knows too. He knows up there.
The best bite at a cookout is like
I'm trying to mix it, but like if it's like something on its own, I'm not doing that.
You can't say you're not a big food.
There's certain things I like with each other, but there's certain things I don't. Like I like mixing my sweet potatoes and green beans. Yeah, that's good.
I don't like green beans. Excuse me. But since we were on the topic of pierogies, growing up with my old man, I never actually had pierogies the way you were supposed to until I met my now wife.
How'd you have them?
How are you eating them?
We would boil them, right? Which is fine.
Okay.
But he'd put spaghetti sauce on top of them for my
That
entire
might be
life.
pretty good.
My entire
That's
life.
like a ravioli.
So
Holy
then,
moly.
yeah, but it's got tater in it. So
Yeah.
when I first was dating my now wife, she's like, "Oh, we're gonna make pierogies for dinner." I was like, "Oh, okay." So she boils them up, and I was like, "Where's the spaghetti sauce?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Where's the spaghetti sauce?" Like that's what I thought people did. And my brother-in-law was actually over in, what is that, Polish or whatever, a Polish meal. And he was over in Poland, and he's like, "They didn't eat that like that over there." I was like, "I guess not. I guess that's just something my old man did." Thanks, Dad. So
That sounds good though.
Is your old man Italian?
a little bit, yeah.
So he's trying to take over these pierogies.
Hey,
See, there you go.
hey.
Respectful.
Hey,
But the thing is, I think like spaghetti sauce or like a tomato sauce is neutral enough that you can put it on like most things.
well, here's the other thing. When we would go on vacation down in North Carolina, we'd always go with like another family or somebody, an extended family. And the one time we went, and I'm not going to mention any names, but we had green beans, and he's like, "Oh, you got to put Prego on them, like spaghetti sauce on your green beans." Oh, it's phenomenal. So ever since then, anytime we had pierogies, we'd have green beans with it too, and I'd just be slathering that spaghetti sauce on top of it.
Makes sense because I used to use I eat a lot of green beans, and I used to use like salsa as like a condiment.
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
put as much salsa
Yeah.
on stuff, and it's like the whole thing's like 70 calories.
Yeah, it's just the sodium that you got to watch.
And
Yeah,
like that's salsa's tomato based, so like,
yeah.
so is Prego. So
Yeah.
I can see it. I like
It was phenomenal.
green light. I'll give it the green light.
Yeah,
Might have to try it.
Try it.
Is spaghetti sauce like low sodium? Like if you get low calories, it's
Yeah,
Prego.
Yeah.
So it's just tomato. What else is in it? Like Italian herbs, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
some onion and stuff, but yeah, it's just
all
tomato
vegetables.
based. Yeah, and it's the killer for that. Like just like anything else in food is the sodium.
You don't have to worry about that till you're like elderly.
I retain a lot of water.
Yeah. Big water retainer.
I am. Look at me.
Yeah, not bad. But what's the next topic we want to talk Pirates? I have a hypothetical situation actually.
Yeah,
I was just thinking on.
I was gonna actually ask you guys a question about the Buckeyes, but go ahead, take your hypothetical.
So here's the thing I was thinking. People, whenever they say what's one superpower you'd have, and like how would you make money off it? What's everyone say? Like they'd be like, I want to be super fast and I'll like run the Olympics, or like I'd be invisible and rob a bank. I thought of a new one today. Imagine having the ability to fly and being an Olympic diver. You'd be the best of all time. I'd do that, and I'd just be like fluttering in the air for like 15, 20 minutes and just spinning around, and then eventually just like slowly go into the water. You'd be the best diver of all time.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, imagine that. Like,
do Olympic divers make a lot of money though?
I don't know, but you'd be the greatest of all time. Imagine the endorsement deals. Like you could like attach. So you could attach an endorsement deal to yourself while you're diving and be like flying around and spinning like a sign spinner, and like just eventually land in the water.
That was always a question I had, was like, how do people be full-time like Olympic athletes without a job? Like, or am I just overthinking that? Just endorsements?
I don't know either.
They do a lot more competitions throughout the year.
Yeah, but are they making that much money? Just like, let's say it's like the world champions of diving.
Yeah. I don't know. That's something I don't know either.
What was that, Mots? You're cutting out, bud.
Endorsements, I'd assume.
And okay, that was.
Here's the thing.
I didn't know if like it was just a stupid question, so I never asked it. So I was just afraid.
Do you think like bobsledders are making that much year? Or like because there's some big ticket Olympians. Like you got your gymnasts, like the big ticket ones.
Yeah.
Who else did you say? Like the sprinters, probably. Stuff like that.
Because
but what about like the speed skaters or like like the dance people, like the water dancers or whatever? Synchronized swimmers. That's what I'm thinking. Like, are they really getting that many endorsements?
No, yeah. Like I'm sure in like certain demographics, sure, but it's a very minimal amount. It's a very small amount. Unlike your runners like Usain Bolt, you could just put him on a shoe, Nike.
A Nike.
And you think, oh,
because
well,
track's pretty big.
yeah.
Track's
well, not
pretty
even
big,
that. Like, you could just give him his own shoe or whatever, endorse by Nike, and you're like, wow, any Joe Schmo, Usain Bolt wears these. He's fast. I'm gonna be fast. That's
you can't
how that
tell
works.
me.
But
here's the other thing I think though. Like, think about curling. Like,
Okay.
you gotta be like at the top there to get like the good endorsements. So what if
Yes.
you're like a mid-level Olympic curler? Like, who's endorsing you? Because how many curling companies can endorse you? Or like, they're endorsing the top one. They're not going to endorse you down the middle.
There, it's the top athletes get endorsements. Everyone else has to work another job, and that's the bottom line there. I mean, you're not winning the curling competition. You're down at the local ice arena running the Zamboni. That's what you're doing. All right, let's not overthink this. It's curling.
I was just asking a question, Mods.
No, I'm talking the mid-tier people. They ain't getting shit. All right, you're winning something. You get the endorsements. Those
I wouldn't even think like the top level curlers could, because now look at like hockey, right? You have CCM, you have Bauer, you got Warrior, you got all these different brands that can have different faces that they can endorse. How many different brands of brooms and shoes do they have for curling? And for a fact, I know for a fact, the stones come from like Czechoslovakia or something, right? Or Ireland. Ireland. What?
What are they made of?
Granite.
Yeah, so Big Granite's funding all this shit. They got their pockets lined with that curling blood.
We're on it. We're on it.
Big hay with the brooms too. Big hay.
If I get picked off in the next month, Big Granite has taken me out because I'm exposing their secret. I'm gonna probably get a curling stone right upside the head. That's what's
gonna come flying through your window right now.
Can you buy one off Amazon? I just want to have one.
I don't know. I don't know.
Imagine owning one. How many people can say I own a curling brick, or what's it called, a curling block?
It's just a stone. It's called a stone. Yep. And like
that'd be a conversation piece.
Like I just watched anywho. All right, on to the Buccos, right? So I wanted to ask
your question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys a question because my buddy Bruno threw this out at me. He asked if I was a gambling man. I was like, I always am. So he said, I'll bet you 100 cold hard American crisp singles that the Pirates lose at least 3 games by 10 or more runs this year and go under 500. I said, I can't touch that because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I'd take that because they're going to have a couple games where
right.
I wouldn't take that.
Look at last year. Yeah, that's what I said. Their weakest part is their bullpen. I think their starting rotation will be okay. It'll be decent. It'll keep them in games.
All right. Yeah, but the bullpen's not there. They're only good lefties a Rule 5 draft pick that they have to keep on their roster. Otherwise, they send them back to the Dodgers. So, their bullpen is not good. No. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. Chase DeYoung sucks. He sucks. And here's another thing. We're on the baseball topic. I'm sick of people considering Babe Ruth one of the greatest of all time.
Right.
You know why? You put him in a modern day against Shohei Ohtani, that blimp down hot dogs in the dugout getting struck out in 3 pitches. The great Bambino, he'd be getting shelled. He'd be in the Pirates. He'd be up there at Altoona playing with the curve. Today's modern day. He ain't one of the greatest of all time. He was the greatest of what?
His era. See, and that's the thing. Daniel Tosh said it best. Let Jose come over from Cuba and throw him a junk ball and see how far he can hit it. He wasn't going to be able to. It was all white males playing back then. And then everybody wants to say that, want to compare Shohei Ohtani to Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth only pitched and hit 2 years. Shohei Ohtani's into his 3rd year doing it. So he's better than Babe Ruth, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree.
And then he played for the Yankees. So and the Polo Grounds was a joke. Sorry,
Babe Ruth would see some of the curveballs that he'd see from today, and he'd just like stand there and not even know what's going on. Because I'm sure he didn't see a fastball past probably 80 miles per hour.
He'd be ducking for his life, thinking it's going to ring him up, and then it's over the strike zone and getting rung up.
Yeah.
So have you guys watched any games?
I'm watching one right now. I just saw a tough scene though. Velasquez for the Pirates gave up a home run. A guy in the crowd caught the baseball. He waved it around, then they go back to him. And he has his hand. He's like going like that, like on
tough
TV.
You can't do. Don't.
You gotta
can't
eat.
do that.
You gotta
Yeah.
eat the pain there. You see her be on TV. You can't be going like a little stinger on TV. Yeah.
You guys
But
like the new rules, the whole pitch clock and everything? You like it, or is it muddying up the game for you?
No, I like the pitch clock because you go down to a game. We're going down opening day. I hate baseball. I love baseball, the sport. It was losing its luster for me, taking forever.
Yes.
It's already one of the sports where you're not active as it is. There's a lot of standing around in baseball. Anyone that's a baseball fan, if they try and deny it, they can just get the hell out of here. It is by tradition. You're standing around a lot. So, you cut down on that. You get to keep a pace of play going, keeps your interest more. You're not sitting at the ballpark for 4 hours watching a 2-1 game. I like it. I like the pitch clock. I like it.
Yeah, and speaking on the toughness of the sport, whenever people bring that up, I mean, yeah, there's hard parts to every sport. I'm not saying that. But baseball's the only sport that you can sit there and eat. Like in what other sport do they sit there and eat and see? Like imagine the NBA that like LeBron or someone's out half court like eating some David seeds and like spitting them out. Like no. You got to be down there, But I do enjoy the new rules. It has sped it up. The Pirates game, not so much because both teams are just walking each other. So I didn't see much of a difference this weekend. But I don't know. The first two games, they're the most recent two, tonight and yesterday, the Pirates are already getting shelled by the Reds. So I think my over-under of 90 games is already done. So might have chalked that up as an early loss. Throwing in the towel on the Buccos already. Yeah.
So
pitching is so bad.
Yeah. And that's a huge component of the game. It really is. But I did see its statistic. Game times are down 26 minutes from last year. So on that was average for the opening day. It went down from 3 hours and X amount of minutes to 2 hours and like 40 some minutes. So that's big. And you got to think that a sport with so much downtime and the way that generations are today, they're so invested into like what's happening now. Everybody's on their phone. You got to keep their interest. You got to keep their attention. And I also like the gamesmanship that's going on, like with Max Scherzer pitching for the Mets. And he's quick pitching guys, and then he's waiting. He's on the mound waiting, and then you have to make eye contact, and the batter's waiting there and takes his one time out, and he can step out. There's a lot of gamesmanship that's going to be happening there, and he's playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. That dude is witty, so I'd like to see more of that, and how else pitchers can take advantage of the game that way as well. They always say that the sexy numbers sell, and that's offense, but not in a boring game like that. And don't get me wrong, I loved baseball my entire life. It was the first sport I played. It's the first sport I fell in love with, but it is so damn boring. If you're not playing it and you're watching it, it's a drag. It really is.
I think that's most people though. It's the first sport I think most people play. You're either soccer when you're young or you're baseball, and people around our area is mostly baseball. Because Little League, that's the first organized sport you run into.
Mm-hmm.
The first organized basketball I played was probably like 5th grade. So that's a little later. Baseball, you're probably starting if your parents opt in for t-ball, maybe like kindergarten. But that's usually the first sport you play.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. If you live in a country where you've won back-to-back world wars, you grow up playing baseball. If not, you're playing soccer. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
But not so much anymore, and I don't want to bring it down to like a local level or anything. But when
soccer's taking over.
There's not a lot of teams in the Little League anymore. I remember, and I was telling my wife last year because I coached my youngest son's t-ball team. There was 2 t-ball teams, 2 coach pitch teams, and one like 9-10-year-old like team or whatever. Pitch. Yeah. And that was it. I remember there was teams lined up both sides of the outfield, like 2 rows of teams. You had so many teams, and it just shows that generation's a little different now. Kids just don't want to go outside, and I think that's a problem for the whole way up to the major leagues, because you're going to lose a lot of interest and it's tough to keep the attention of a younger generation that didn't really grow up playing the game like we might have.
That kind of stinks because I remember like one of the best games was when you'd play the other like group from like your age, in the same town. You'd be like, yeah, that'd be fun.
Always gone up for them ones. Always. And whenever I was young, we had 3 teams at my age level every year. So there was always that little rivalry going, and then you'd see them at school, and they're like, "Oh, we're playing you tonight," So and you always had bragging rights and stuff, and those were fun, but it's just not the same way as as it was back then, 20 years ago.
There was always the tradition, like you'd play like the Leechburg team, obviously on opening day, and then you'd just go like smack the shit out of Belle Ave every year.
Yeah. Like, I have a baseball in my room from a game I pitched against Belle Ave, and one hitter, 10-runner all-stars too. So they sent out their best product, and old Ryan's on the mound mowing them down.
He was throwing spitballs. Don't let him lie.
Yeah, I got the stats written on it too. My grandpa wrote the stats on it.
Nice.
Top tier Little League game was always the Apollo underneath the lights.
Yes.
Like the 7:00 games. That was like the 4th of July game of the summer. Everyone was, amped up for that. You couldn't beat that,
No, because you didn't really get to experience it at a young age. And then you're like, oh wow, I'm playing at like night. Like the pros do. Like the pros, this is cool. Like it was an experience. I remember Gino Petrilla put one in the middle of that football field. Well, where the football field is now, from home plate up there under the lights. I mean, he jacked that thing. Never lost to Apollo in Little League ever. They were trash.
I remember that field. The only reason I remember is because I caught that game. Like I was catcher in an under the lights game, and I was pretty heavy. So being on my knees like that the whole game, I was like hurting. Like I was feeling some pain. You think I could squat down for that long? I was like just opting into just being like on my knees with like the glove at one point. That's all I remember from that.
Did it for many years. It was fun. But
were you one of the ones that used like the knee savers, Dan?
When they came out, yeah. But the first few years I was wearing them, I didn't realize that my coach put them in the wrong spot. So you can have them in either way down or up a little higher. If you have them up a little higher, that's where they're supposed to be, and that's how they help you. And you just sit on them, like not way down, because then they're not doing anything. Yes, I use knee savers. Yes.
My favorite part was having your own cup because you really didn't have it for any other export. So like your first cup, you're like walking around like everyone, you're like showing it off, you're like knocking on it and like hearing the sound.
You get some kid who's just gullible and they'd be like, "What's this? Oh, it's a gas mask. You put it on your face," and they put it up there.
So this last week, went up to catch a high school game up at the field. And you know me, you see me during basketball season. I get pretty animated. I like to give guff from the bench. It's no secret. So there is an incident. The umpire lost track of his own count. Counts 3-1. Pitch comes in, borderline, calls it strike 3. All hell breaks loose. So I'm like, all right, everyone's arguing. They reverse the call. The other team's coach comes out, reverses it. He reversed like 3 times. So I'm standing up there. I'm like, I got to get my off-season reps in at some point.
Yeah.
So I'm all right. I'm just gonna start getting some guff here. So I'm up there yelling at him like, next batter, strike 1. I'm like, that's 1 strike. I'm just being obnoxious back there. So it's going a little bit. I'm laughing. A couple batters later, this is the funny part. It wasn't even me. It was another fan up there. Foul tip right off the umpire's mask. Boom. Head snaps back. He's seeing stars. A little confused. You just hear a parent go, "How's that one feel, you jag?" I just start laughing. Like that's the ultimate. You hear someone calling someone a jag during a like a high school game, especially. Yeah. I was like, I give a little tip of the cap to him over there. Game recognized game. Yeah. Love to hear it.
I have a funny story about that field. I live pretty close to that field, and we've had some windy days. They got a portage on up there. I think it was like Thursday or Friday. It was like blown over, and then someone picked it up because it was upright again, And like right now, as we speak, this morning it was on its side again. So the walls of that thing have to be covered in piss and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Don't use that. If you're listening to this in the area, don't use that porta john. Go before you come. That's all I'm gonna say. Go at home because that thing's been flipped twice. But doing kick it back over to the Pirates and what we're seeing, like what's good, what's bad.
Yeah. Sorry. We're off the rails.
Obviously, I thought Mitch Keller looked good, minus that one inning at the end where he was a little tired. He gave up like a triple, I think. But other than that, he looked good. Talking about pitching still, I'm gonna say Rich Hill didn't look horrible. I mean, that first inning was pretty bad, but he has a sick curveball. And he did pretty well. He only gave up like no runs after that, right?
Yeah, you got to remember this. Cincinnati's ballpark shouldn't even be a major league ballpark as it is. So like I'm not reading too much unless it's today because Vince Velasquez. I said it before the season. The guy sucks and shouldn't be in there.
2 home runs, so
he 2 homers. But I'm not looking too much into these pitching performances until they get on an actual MLB field. Cincinnati, just to reiterate, Skyline Chili sucks. The Bengals suck, and your baseball stadium sucks. Your best player, arguably, you're gonna say Johnny Bench. Pete Rose is banned for life, so you got nothing going on there. That's all I'm gonna say. I gotta get my quick digs in on Cincinnati while I can. So I'll kick it back over to you two.
So that's all I was gonna say. The pitching, other than I think their relievers, they look good on Friday. They had some old guy out there. I forget his name, and what's his name? Colin Holderman looked good. But other than that, yesterday was pretty bad. Like you said, DeYoung. And then today it ain't looking good either. So pitching, there's a lot of pitching woes. The bats haven't come out yet, really. So O'Neal Cruz, he's looking like the best batter so far. Brian Hayes, not as good as I think he should look yet. But it's a long year. It's early in the season. But they got to get runners on base for O'Neal Cruz. And I think they need to get that Ji-Hwan Bae in there because he's fast. He's fast as lightning. And then Kutch needs to be in like the 3 slot before O'Neal Cruz too because he's just getting walked left and right. He is the best eye on the team, and I'm impressed with Santana as well.
Like Reynolds has a homer today, but Sawinski, he stinks.
Not bad.
Rodolfo Castro is losing his job, like you said. Ji-Hwan Bae, fast as hell. He's getting on base. That's what you want, out of your second baseman. You can worry about his defense all you want. I mean, that's going to be part of the learning curve, whatever. He can play center, second. Austin Hedges, I'll be surprised if he's hitting anywhere near 200 this year, but he's good defensively. I think sooner rather than later, you're going to see Endy Rodriguez up. He started the season in AAA. He's the catcher of the future. So if he progresses quicker than usual in AAA, I definitely think he'll be up here first. But like you said, Ryan, Carlos Santana, that him and G-Man Choi are there at first, DH and playing whatever. Cabrian's scuffling at the plate, which last year a lot of people gave him the pass. They said he had that injury that he played through all last year. I think it's some of his ribs or something.
Yeah. Well, he had a wrist injury as well.
Yeah, he had a couple injuries, so he needs to bring it, more to get on base. But like you said, I think O'Neal Cruz is going to be a stud. I mean, the first home run he hit this year was just an absolute bomb. Absolutely.
He could have hit 2 more. He had 2 more flyouts that were on the warning track. And today he's looking like a little shaky, but he broke the bat on one. He had a couple like hard hits that could have been like infield singles. So I'm not worried too much about it yet. But you just got to get guys on base for when he's up. I don't know, like if we want to interchange that spot 3 and 4, maybe like Santana or like Reynolds, because they've had Santana at that cleanup spot a lot. But his bat wasn't good on opening day, but it was pretty good yesterday. But they just need guys on the bases, and I think that's where we're going to see the issue because Brian Hayes isn't hitting well yet. But I think Ji-Hwan Bae is fast enough that you bunt a runner on. I know it's like not the most exciting thing, and it's kind of like, if you're going to bunt every time you're up. But that's how you win games. You got to get guys on base, and he's pretty quick that he can get over to second, steal the base. So you just need guys in scoring position.
So I'm not going to look too much into it. 3 games in the season. You can't. What are you smirking about?
I'm just enjoying life right now.
Okay. Well, you can't lose the pennant race in April. No. You can't win it either. And I'm not saying they're going to win a pennant. I'm not that far from that. But you can't look too much into these. Yeah, give it a month, see how the team's playing together, see if guys are getting hot, starting to string some hits together and stuff like that. I know we've talked about it. The bullpen is the big question mark, and rightfully so. You got no lefties to come out of there. You had 2 lefties to come out of there. That's it. So with the bats kind of being quiet, we're 3 games into the season. I know you'd want Brian Hayes to be, seeing the ball better, selecting pitches better, but what's he have? 12 at bats so far this year. Yeah. Let him get 50 at bats in, and then if he's still with these woes, then maybe put him down in 7th, 8th slot. You move him down. Yeah, there's going to be some jumbling of the lineup, the batting order as well. So there's no one guy that you're going to say, well, this is your spot. This is where you're going to hit in the lineup. Because O'Neal Cruz is fast as hell too. He could lead off for you. I know he's got pop, but he's not going to be the guy that goes up there and this is what you hope, that he's not going to go up there and strike out 300 times in a season and get you 30 dingers. You're going to hope he's going to run into his fair share, but you want him to get aboard as well. You got guys like Kutch. Kutch should probably be hitting second, if you ask me. Great eye. He's a veteran presence, and the guy can tell you it's a strike right out of the pitcher's hand. He's that good. Also saw a stat about him. He's faced the 2 fastest pitches in since they've been tracking how fast pitches are in the modern era. And Aroldis Chapman threw that one 105.8, and then that dude last night threw it 105.2. So he's faced the 2 fastest pitches in MLB history. So I thought that was pretty neat. But just give it some time. Give it some time. In a 162 game season, they got 159 more games to go. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to go out there and win 159 games. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is we just got to be patient. Even if they do get on a hot streak and they're flirting with 500, this isn't their year. You got to wait for guys to come up and fill in some roles and get used to the big leagues level as well. And then if they have a decent year, you build up that bullpen, and we'll see from there. And you resign Kutch to a longer deal.
And here's the thing. I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking pretty early, like you said, but that's just what I'm seeing now.
No, yeah,
right now, right here. I know,
fair.
It's live pitching, and from spring training to now, you're not seeing the best of the best yet from that team. So you might have seen some arms that aren't MLB level yet. So I understand that it takes a while to heat up. Get acclimated to the pitching. But once again, if you don't like my opinions or any of ours, the X button to close the window should be right up here somewhere.
But here's the other thing with spring training. It is live. They're exhibition games, but a lot of those pitchers you see don't even make the big league roster. They're down in AAA. They're down in AA. They're just getting some experience. Some of them are just invitees. So with a lot of those pitchers, and you're just throwing out there a lineup, get guys kind of ready for some game action. Yeah. But it's almost like a preseason game for football. It's not the real speed. Guys aren't out there going 100% the whole time. Your first teamers don't even get I'm blanking.
They don't see the whole lineup.
They don't even get
reps,
until the second game. So I understand we can nitpick. That's fine. But you're nitpicking a team that's going to go sub 500, but they're going to improve on what they did last year to hopefully be almost ready for next year.
See, I'm not nitpicking. I'm not nitpicking. All right, I'm overreacting, but I look at it as a whole. So I know it's 3 games into the year. It doesn't really mean anything, but for Brian Hayes to sign the extension last year, not hit it all, and then it's okay, what's different this year? He's still scuffling at the plate. It's 3 games, whatever. Obviously, he can turn it around. That's not what I'm saying. Oh, it's a bust. But it's all right, we're seeing this again. Chase DeYoung, he sucked last year. All right, he already sucks his first outing. There's players that have that potential. You could put, there's people in AAA, whether it's, Johan Oviedo, he's gonna be a starter, but it's all right, some of these players suck. They're not gonna turn their careers around. They're not they don't have the pedigree of like, like, okay, an AJ Burnett where, he had a couple bad years or wasn't the pitcher he was, but then he came to Pittsburgh, became that, great pitcher, solid guy, the veteran of the rotation kind of shit. Vince Velasquez has sucked and will continue to suck. That's where like I'm having a problem. Chase DeYoung, he stinks. He will continue to stink. Brian Hayes has the potential where obviously it's not, you don't want to overreact or anything, but if you're getting that contract and you're supposed to be the cornerstone, of this Pirates team for years to come, you got to be, you got to come out and hit a little bit right off the bat, especially after last year. Silence people like me.
Here's my thing with him, though, and I think the way that the Pirates organization looked at him was he's so good on the diamond, like the defensive side at third base.
Potential Gold Glover last year. He got robbed.
He should have won it, but
yeah.
So you're set there, and you kind of deal with his woes at the plate because he is so good in the field. Like he's phenomenal. He is world class in the field. I think that's the way they look at that. And then on the other side, we understand that Chase DeYoung and all these other guys suck. Who are you going to have put in there? You can't just put these young guys in there because then they start looking at, arbitration and this and that. We owe this guy more money. Now the timeline isn't matching up. You got to look at it that way too. Because I understand. I
go get some veteran guys. That's where I'm not saying you're breaking the bank, but holy hell, at least sign a reliever that has somewhat of a decent pedigree that's like you can look at and say, all right, this guy's not a shitter and he's not, too expensive. Like those are the guys you put in there, not where, he comes in the game. You may as well just flip on any other channel. All right, I'll watch Law and Order SVU when this clown's on. You know why? Because putting him on the mound's a crime. Get Benson and Stabler on that. Get them in the dugout.
And I think that's just what this year is going to be like because we have a lot of those veterans that are like that. And those are the gaps that needed filled. And it's not going to be a star. It's not going to be someone that's going to give you like that much quality, but it's going to get you through till next year. So they're bridging the gap. So they're not going to be, there's still going to be a chance there's going to be a couple positions like that next year. But that's what the Pirates are working towards. That's what it's going to be like. It's going to look like the Tampa Bay Rays. We're not going to sign these guys. We're not going to spend money. It's going to have to be an internal thing. It might have some hits, might have some misses, but it's going to be a slow process of replacing guys like that and putting people in the position that can actually play from our farm system or, making trades like we did with Quintana last year and getting something that might not pan out or maybe it will. So that's what's probably going to happen this year with Rich Hill. I can see him having a good year, and then we're getting a few positions like that or getting a few prospects, which you have enough shit from another team, something's going to stick.
And I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think that's why they keep running these guys out there like your Chase DeYoungs and guys like that, because they're hoping that they could get hot at a certain time and then they ship them off. Then it's not our worry, but they got their draft capital back. They get some picks, which is it the right way to operate? No, absolutely not. But that's just the way that this organization is. And we've known that for years.
Yeah, you have enough guys like that, and you're swinging on him. You're hoping that we need to get rid of this guy. If he plays well at a certain spot, let's get him out of here. Yeah, get something out of him.
Yeah,
but then you also look at like trades they've done, like Clay Holmes. All right, he's an absolute stud with the Yankees now. What'd they get back? Hoy Park and Diego Castillo, two infielders that. Okay, you're taking a flyer on two guys like that, a lefty specialist like that. I mean, if you're gonna trade him, which you can make the argument, okay, we're not in a position to win. You get the highest value for him. Get something better than two infielders that, hey, you're already stacked at in the minors.
Yeah.
Nick Gonzalez, Peguero, O'Neal Cruz. Those are guys up the middle. It's just mismanagement. And I don't know. That's just the kind of stuff where, as a small market team, you can't afford to make those mistakes, especially after the Chris Archer deal.
Yeah.
And pitching at a premium. That's where I'm like, that disappoints me.
That's what I come back to as being the biggest fumble for us in the past, I don't know, 10 years, 20 years. Because
it's the worst of all time, I think, for the Pirates.
They got so fleeced because everybody wanted them to spend, wanted them to make a trade, wanted them to make a splash. But I thought Tyler Glasnow was way better than Chris Archer. I understand the year Chris Archer had the year prior, but he ends up pitching, I don't even think 20 games for us. He was hurt, and then when he did get ran out there, he was And now look at that. I know Tyler Glasnow's coming off Tommy John, but like The dude's
still,
the dude's a stud.
Austin Meadows,
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
a good outfielder, and then you're throwing. This was just the mind-boggling part. Like at the time, you could rationalize, okay, Meadows and that, whatever. You throw in your first-round pick from that year, Shane Baz, who's going to be, I think, a really good pitcher. He already is.
Yeah.
He's a pretty decent pitcher right now. He's young, controllable arm. That's like, that's like getting robbed for your wallet and cash. Then you just throw the guy the keys to your Lambo at that point. So you have this as the throw-in. You're ripping me off already.
Yeah.
Get that out of here with that.
And it's so frustrating to talk about this organization, and it's so frustrating trying to be positive and get, I don't know, hyped up for this organization when you know what's going to happen. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but that's just the way it is. It's been like this minus 3 years of my life. I'm 30 years old. 27 years of my life, this team and this organization has sucked. And if you ask me, Pittsburgh deserves better, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's always hope. It never comes, but, there's always hope. I don't know. There's baseball to be played. It's better than having nothing, We could have nothing. I'd rather have a crappy Pirates team than nothing at all. And I know that every year it's a disappointment, but I do think that things are going to start to change. I'd like to think that, and I hope to think that. And with the product that we have now, I do think that it's going to be trending in the right direction, or at least you hope it will. So I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see. It seems like we have players that, that we didn't have before in those, let's say the late 2000s, or the young part of my life from 2000 2010. We didn't have players like O'Neal Cruz or let's say Brian Reynolds, or even Brian Hayes. You could say, hey, these guys are pretty valuable players, and like they're worth the price of admission to begin with. You had guys like Jack Wilson that were just solid players, but they didn't have like even MLB. They talk about guys like O'Neal Cruz. We never really.
I'll tell you right now, I wasn't going to PNC Park to see Jack Wilson. I'll go down to PNC Park to see O'Neal Cruz. I will. He'll put my ass in the seat, and that guy will sell tickets. So the Pittsburgh Pirates right now are lucky because they have a generational talent. That's what I call that. That he's the Sidney Crosby to the Buccos right now. I'm going down to PPG Paints Arena to see Sidney Crosby play, see Evgeny Malkin play. Chris Letang.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. But
I wouldn't say he is yet, but he has a potential.
Oh no, he definitely is. Just the way that when I went down and saw him last year, went to a game, just the way, even when he was mishitting the ball, the sound of the ball coming off his bat is just, it's something else. It's otherworldly. And once you experience that in person, you want to go back again, and you're like, this dude is a freak. This dude is a talent. He is 6'9". He plays the middle infield. He'll throw the ball across the diamond at 100 mile an hour. Dude, come on. Like, he's somebody that he's gonna put asses in the seats. It's plain and simple. It's simple as that. He ain't no Jack Wilson. He ain't no what is it, Eddie Sanchez or something? Freddie Sanchez.
He won the batting title.
Yeah.
Listen, this is like, all right, we're adults obviously now, and like we know better. But like as kids, it's like, oh, look at this pitching staff. It's like Kip Wells, Josh Fogg, Paul Maholm, Zach Duke. We thought those guys were like good, and the record's like 5-19, absolute shitters. And then back in the day, they're hyping up like, we got Chris Duffy and Nate McLouth in the outfield.
Yeah,
and Ryan Doumit behind the plate. Yeah. Or Craig Wilson, I remember him. Or what's his name? Last thing's Millage. Like those guys, you gotta like understand that they were absolute shit.
Yeah,
like they were horrid.
Worst was like the first third. They had like 80-year-old Joe Randa at the hot corner back in the 2000s in his second stint, and then you had friggin' Jeremy Burnitz at first base. Like they were pulling the wool over every kid's eyes back then. That's what. Yeah, you're looking at that. But no, we'll be down there Friday for opening day. And I actually have a question for Ryan here. What's the ballpark food you're going for first Friday? What are you going?
I don't know. I can't see myself being hungry, because I'm gonna get a nice lift in the morning. I'm not hungry after I do like any physical activity, so I'm gonna take it. Maybe I don't know. They have good hot dogs.
First pitch is 4:10. How are you not gonna be hungry after a lift in the morning?
Because I'll eat something before I leave, or like grab something before I go.
Get a load of this guy. Before I go down.
That's the thing, though. I don't know, like what I'll be. That's a lot to think about. You know, I'm more of an in the moment. If I'm hungry, then like I'll grab something.
There's one right answer and one right answer only. You walk in, you go to the Permanis, and you get yourself a cap and cheese.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll get that.
Yes.
I think the wings are overrated. It's too messy, you know, sitting in one spot and eating those wings.
Yeah,
or chicken on the hill if it's still there. I like chicken on the hill.
Yes.
And then you have to do something with the bones. They give you a bucket. What do you do with the bones?
Put them in the lid.
Yeah, but that's just too messy. You know, there's too many of them. But that's what I'll end up doing. I'll get a nice permani sandwich because that's I'll do that.
Yeah,
you can't go wrong.
They still have chicken on the hill. They got that still. That's pretty good.
I couldn't.
They got a nice couple tendies and like some fries. That was pretty good. So either that. They got good dogs now though. They got deluxe dogs with like a bunch of crap on it, Chicago style. Yeah.
Are you gonna? Is the shirt going to be on or off if there's a home run on opening day? You taking the tarp off and waving it around, or what's the?
I'll tell you what. If they hit one in the first 4 innings, I will. First 4 innings. After that, no.
Getting a little lubed up down there. You gonna get a little sauced up before?
No, one time I did it. I had sprayed Andrew to some. It's hilarious. I don't know if he remembers this. I remember you had that like nice river. Oh, maybe like a couple icy lights. But Andrew, remember when I was opening that like thing with my chicken? You're standing there, and it just sprayed ranch all over.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, that was hilarious. They had ranch on them.
No, yeah, we're going down tailgate Gold Lot. As soon as it opens, we got a couple cars ready to roll.
My truck will be there. The bed will be popped.
Ryan's hauling us.
Have say the hauler's prayer beforehand.
I'll need you to bring the Hint Yeti cooler from home so we can.
Oh, it'll fit. Yeah, it'll fit in the back. But I'm gonna be responsible because I'm the driver. I'm responsible. Yeah. So we promote responsible driving.
This man is keys. Hint Yeti cooler. Did you win that from Sprankles?
No, Coach got it last year. Yeah, I took it. It's already been, it's a well-traveled cooler. It made its way down to Hilton Head a couple of years ago. It's been in the surf. It's been on the beach. Hauling it around. So we'll take it down the North Shore. Let's see if maybe Bob Nutting will stop by the tailgate. I'm sure he'll try and pull some strings down there. Maybe the Hillbilly Prince can get a new haircut. That coconut head.
He might try to. You guys taking dogs down with you? Because he might try to take your buns for $1 dog.
He's gonna be doing a boot drive for the Pirates payroll because the TV deals running. I'll have one of his shoes off. People be putting money in it.
He'll be shaking a can out by the Clemente wall out there. We need to pay Brian Reynolds. He'll just be panhandling out there.
I heard they're having saxophone guy off of that one bridge is one of the post game entertainments coming up. They paid him well. That's just what I heard. That's all they could afford.
What pierogies are you looking forward to, Ron? Did a pierogi come back this year? Did they make enough money?
Yeah, but we all have. Well, at least I do.
I think Bacon Burt come back. Yeah,
it's like pizza. Was it pizza or something like that? Yeah. Sausage.
What pierogi came back?
It was something with pizza or sausage or meat.
Pete?
No, Pizza Pete. Maybe I don't know.
It might be Pizza Pete.
But there's a clear cut favorite for
sauerkraut
me.
Saul.
No, isn't he the nerd?
No,
it's Oliver Onion. I'd like to punch that guy square in the face.
Potato Pete.
Yeah,
thank you.
But I have one clear favorite that I like. I've liked this guy for as long as I can remember. I cheer every time. I have videos of my Snapchat of him. So it's not fake and I'm just saying it. But I've always liked Cheese Chester.
I was gonna say you're a Chester cheese guy, aren't you?
No, it's Cheese Chester.
It's Chester cheese.
It's Cheese Chester.
It's Chester cheese.
No, it's Cheese Chester. Okay. I'm pretty sure it is.
I like sauerkraut.
I'll look it up.
I like just because where he wears his hat backwards.
Next time, the green one.
Oh,
is that Pete Penny or something or
jalapeno Hannah?
Yeah, jalapeno Hannah. Yeah. So next time you guys see Braden, you got to ask him about meeting the pierogies out in front of the one gate. I think it was 2 years ago now. Jalapeno Hannah stole his hat and took off running down the street with it. He's looking at me. I'm like, go get it. He's chasing his pierogi, and his pierogi's just giving him the juke and the jive, and It was pretty good. Yeah, well, they ended up giving it back, but he wasn't going to catch that pierogi.
What if someone would have tackled her, like citizen's arrest?
Laid out jalapeno Hannah, like just blindsided her. Did you see that guy proposing at the Dodgers? Was that the Dodgers game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or he's on one knee in the outfield looking up. He's getting ready. That security guard, bam, just crushed him. A hell of a form tackle.
That security guard dreamt about that day. He was probably like, I wish a motherfucker would.
Yeah,
and especially because he wasn't paying attention, so you got a free shot. Usually the people are like looking around, looking for the guy coming to tackle him because you'll get a couple good dodges and everyone cheers.
Those are my favorite though. Like the guys that you'll see, they'll be looking back and then they'll turn around and then there's just a security guard and they're just folded like a lawn chair. Great.
I like the ones that if you're not cheering for the escape, like you gotta love the escapes though. Those
you're never getting away ever, never, and then you're banned from that stadium forever.
Yeah. But how are they going to know?
They know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably easier now.
Yeah.
Like back then. Because they'd have like probably face recognition or like, something like that. Pirates can't afford that.
No.
Yeah.
But maybe places like the Yankees or something.
Yeah, I don't know. You want to get in the Jags of the week, though?
Yeah, we're an hour and 5 in.
Yeah. I got really just one. It was this morning, down at the Waterworks. We stopped at Panera for Ross Park Mall, get a nice little breakfast sandwich, whatever. So, PA drivers are just, I think, bad in general.
Mm-hmm.
We disagree.
Oh,
the
totally
light
agree.
Right at the one intersection is flashing red and yellow. So, yellow one way, red the other way. You treat it as a stop sign, obviously, if you're on the red. Subaru in front of me, creeping up. We're sitting there. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You can't even see what's coming from the other sides. Like, it's like a blind pull. So finally, it's like 3 minutes. They're sitting there just creeping up. Guy pulls out and almost just hits T-Bone as soon as he pulls out. He's like swerving into the other lane. And I'm like, this Jag just sat there for 3 minutes creeping up. And then he just decides to gun it into oncoming traffic and almost gets walloped right in the intersection. I'm like, what an asshole. Like, I should have pulled him over. Be like,
Citizens arrest. Citizens arrest.
Yeah. Citizens arrest. You're a danger to yourself and everybody else on the road. Jag. You don't know how to drive. Get out of here. Jag.
Yeah, that is a Jag move.
It is.
Do you have one, Dan? Or
I do not. Unless you want me to tell the one about myself, but I don't want to incriminate myself, so no.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I mean, if you want to, I don't care. But mine isn't even that great. It's just like some Jag at Giant Eagle again. Like, it's not even that surprising. It's kind of like Andrew's story a little bit. It's like the flow of traffic. So I'm in like the potato section, or like going that way, and I have my cart, and this lady's like coming out of the aisle, and I'm clearly like coming. So what's the thing to do? Pull out in front of me, or like wait 2 seconds for me to like pass by? What do you think this lady did?
You probably pulled out. Yeah.
She pulled out like in front of me when I was like clearly coming and I wasn't stopping. So she pulls out in front of me and goes to where like my potatoes are, and like this, it's 2 wide aisle. All right, it's a 2 wide aisle, so 1 up and 1 down. So she's just standing there, and I know what I want. So I always just grab like 2 containers of potatoes and put in my thing. So she's standing there. She has some idiot kid in her cart like making noises. So I'm like, whatever. Like, she's probably just paying attention to that. So I like go to pass because there's no one around. It's pretty early today, so no one was in there. So I just grab them and go, like literally in 2 seconds. And I hear that little thing that like Karen's do, like that little like I got like clicked that, and I'm just like, yeah, what? Like, that's a Jag move if you're like clicking your tongue in the potato section in Giant Eagle because I passed you right after you like almost T-boned me.
Yeah.
So that's my Jag. I got like that little like tick, like annoyed tick. Like, who does that anymore?
Did she sigh after?
Yeah, like I looked. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, whatever.
I think we need Dan to incriminate himself though, because that a self Jag of the week like that. I mean, that doesn't happen too often. We're a content pod. This is what we live for right here. Come on, you want to.
All right, I'm a jag off. So DJ asked if anybody wanted to go golfing today. I said I would, but got a bum wing going on here, and I was like, So yesterday, everybody asked me why, and I said, well, I walked in and my wife was she was splitting up ground meat, so I went in to help. But before, I absolutely just gave her a sacrifice. That's what I'm going to call it. And if married men know what that is, anybody with a significant other knows what that is. You just smack them as hard as you can in the ass. So she turned around, and I'm thinking she's going to lay me out. So I take off running through it back into the dining room. I have socks on and put down some new floor about a year ago now. And it slipped. It's slick, when you got socks on. And I come through the door, and I'm booking it. And next thing I know, I'm parallel with the ground, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna hurt. Come down 235 pounds right on the left shoulder. I'm laying there in agony, kind of laughing, like trying to laugh through the pain. She's losing her mind, like just hysterically laughing at me. I will say this: at 30 years old, I can't take a bump like I used to. I mean, when I hit, the whole house shook. I mean, there was shit in the hutch just shaking, or fine china. Braden comes down and is like, why is he laughing? I'm like, I'm not laughing. This hurts. It hurts. It's sore. It's tender. So I am a jag of the week for smacking my wife in the butt and trying to run away, and absolutely just eating shit. I mean, absolutely. Like I am a scorpion. That's how far it was. Yeah, it was.
The thing is, though, were you home free, or would you have?
Oh yeah. I was gone. I was gone. She wasn't catching me. I was making it upstairs in the bathroom or something. I was gone. Yeah. But I made it 4.5 feet, and I was on my face. So, yeah.
That's a jag move. Congratulations.
Thank you.
First time.
Thank you. No, I've incriminated myself before.
Yeah, that's true, but can't beat this one. Scorpioning.
Yeah. I think we all have at some point, so that's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah. But the only other thing I have for today is the Youngzers Golf Invitational this summer. I think we got enough. We're getting a decent amount of interest for it, so we'll pick the 3 courses, and I want to see who's crowned champion. We do like a 12-foot trophy like the Flint Tropics.
Yeah.
Or, what are we going to do for that?
Yeah,
we can build one. Do you want to make one? That would be so fun. Imagine us getting together, going to Michael's, and just building something. Do you want to build it?
Yeah, make it look like
we can paint it and
yeah,
that'd be sick. We should do that.
So I know we'll have to figure out the tracks for sure.
Do you want me to do like a little drawing for it? Maybe like specs, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll bring my truck. We can haul the materials back too.
Yeah, that's great.
Load her up.
I was thinking we keep it strictly, we'll keep it county. We'll do it by county. Armstrong, Lenape,
okay,
Apollo Oaks, Links at Church.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool with me.
Wait, is the Links in the?
It's right by the Elks.
In 2 different counties?
No, they're both in Armstrong. They're both in Apollo.
I thought Andrew said 3 different counties.
No, he said keep it the same.
One. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Yeah, that's fine with me. We'll have to figure it out, and then maybe call ahead and just everybody book the same, the tee times, like, however many people we get. But then we'll do a little draft thing, wheel thing, like we said, and we do teams. And
we can do like the Ryder Cup, yeah.
And I said, we do. No, you do
3 teams.
Do multiple teams.
Okay.
Everybody has a partner, but then you do like best ball, then you do alternate shot, and then you do like lowest score or something like that. I'm cool with that.
Good idea. Yeah, me too. Yeah. We'll construct a trophy. That'd be fun. I want to do that. So.
What time frame are you thinking? Like when in the year? Like you thinking like because everybody wants to be in mid season form in their golf game when this goes down.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like we'll do maybe July, August, the final one in September, something like that. Before it gets too cold out, the leaves. We're not hitting fairways. The leaves are getting confused. We'll try something like that. Maybe somewhere around there.
Pick one a month. Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
No, I'm down for it.
All right.
Yeah, good. I'll announce it on the Twitter today. Youngzers Golf Invitational. What are we going to cap it at? How many? We could do. We'll do foursomes, obviously.
Yeah.
We'll do 3, 4.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see how many we get.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll see how much interest we have into it, and then because 4 foursomes, that's 16 people. We could even do. We'll cap it at 6. All right. I don't think we'll get 24 people, but it's got to be an even number.
Yeah.
But us 3, Ginger, there's 4 just right there. DJ will do it.
I think a coach will do it. Coach?
Yeah, that's fine. And then you got to play with your partner, so you got to get to know your partner if you don't know them, and then just have fun. This is to have fun and bring people together, and then we can even vlog it too.
Yeah, do some side bets, stuff like that.
Absolutely, and just have fun with it.
Yeah,
and then maybe in a couple years we can have our own outing.
Outing.
If it starts to take off.
Yeah, why not?
All right, gentlemen.
Wait, hold on. One more thing. We're going to be crowning our champions tomorrow for both our bracket and our league. That's been going on since January.
Yeah.
So
we're down to 2.
UConn and San Diego State.
It's either going to be Tyler Foster or Coach Davies. Down to 2. And Coach said if he wins, he's doing a guest appearance on the pod. So
all right.
We're going to do that.
All right.
All right. So that's episode 37. Thanks for listening. That's about it. So see you later, Dan. Click the button.